What's up, guys? We're back with another G.I. Joe Classified review, taking a look at the PulseCon exclusive for the year. We have got Snake Supreme Cobra Commander. So we've got this guy here in a pretty snazzy box. This is definitely one of the big draws for this figure for me, because not only does the box look cool, but it kind of functions in a really cool way too. So you've got a nice shot of Cobra Commander here in all of his glory with the throne behind him, and then on the back side you've got kind of like a die cut pattern that allows you to see the inner box. So you can pop the slip cover off. You know, we see these a lot with Hasbro exclusives, but this one's pretty interesting. So you've got the slip cover, and then you've got the box within. It's still numbered too, which I find kind of weird, but then you've got the same type of packaging. So artwork on the front, you've got kind of the bio stat things along the side, and then you've got more of that artwork on the spine, but it pops open in a really cool way. So the box kind of splits in two, and you can see Cobra Commander on the inside there. So it makes for a really cool display piece on its own. If you wanted to leave him in like this, he's going to look really snazzy on the shelf, and you could actually take him out and put him back in without much fuss as well. So 10 out of 10 on the packaging as far as I'm concerned, because I really love everything about it. Love the artwork, love the slipcover, and I really like the way this box does what it does. So let's do it. Let's pull him out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, our Snake Supreme Cobra Commander. Easily one of my more anticipated exclusives from the year. Not just because I'm excited for this version and because I like the way it looks, but because it's pretty cheap, right? So compared to, say, the Lord Drakon exclusive from Power Rangers, this is one figure for 30 bucks. That was one figure for 50 bucks. And then you've got, you know, exceedingly more expensive figures up the line when it comes to the box set. So I was really curious to see, well, how he would turn out, but also the fact that they're giving us a lot of stuff in a pretty snazzy box for only a $10 price increase. So this one's definitely doing it for me on a lot of levels, specifically because of the fact that he is very much a good value for money. So let's see what he can do, see how he moves around. If you've gotten the original figure, the retail version, you know what to expect here. So the head, he can look up pretty good, and then he can look down pretty good as well. You've got full rotation, not really much attitude, you know, tilt side to side. Arms kick out. They do, of course, rotate in there. You have got to watch out for the little elastic bands here, because they sit in the armpits, and this is how the cape actually sits on. It's kind of interesting, kind of weird, but that's how it keeps it on. He's literally wearing it. So you've got the butterfly joint in there as well. We've got our bicep swivels. We've got our double jointed elbows. And then we've got hinges and rotation at those wrists. Ab crunch goes backwards, and you've got some nice print tampo work in there. We've got one click forward, basically, a little bit more, and then you've got your ball peg waist down there, which of course is hidden by the girdle belt thing. Legs kick outward, they kick forward, they kick backward. You do have your thigh cut there, and then you've got your double jointed knees. They go all the way back. We've got a really nicely hidden boot cut, and then you've got rocker, and you've got hinges down at those ankles. So this guy does move really well for the most part. I do still think that his elbows and his knees are kind of wonky looking when it comes to being fully extended, and I thought that about the regular release as well. It's the same figure, so same thing. They are very functional though, if not maybe a little on the odd looking side. Otherwise though, this guy is basically the same exact figure when it comes to moving him around, but that's a good thing because that figure moves just fine on its own to begin with. But of course, the big draw for this figure is undoubtedly the looks, the overall design, and the change up from the regular Cobra Commander into Snake Supreme. And we will do a comparison here shortly between the two figures, but there is a lot changed. I mean, there is a lot similar, of course, but there is a lot changed. You know, first of which is that he has different things on him. He's got something removed as well. So the first Cobra Commander has the pauldron that wraps over his chest. This figure does not. This figure has a holster. The regular figure does not. So he's got a different belt entirely, really. It's a different sculpt. So there are some changes in a general sense. The figure is, of course, at its base level the same, but the paint is entirely different, and of course the cape is different. That first figure has kind of a plastic cape thing that sits over one shoulder. It's not truly a cape, whereas this guy has a much more impressive cape. So I really do like the way this looks. I know it may not be for everyone, but I like this look. It makes him look much more important, much more sinister in some ways to me. So I really think that they did a great job here with some of the accents, like adding all of the gold piping all over him. You've got the red accents on the gauntlets, on the boots, on the knee pads. The gold Cobra emblem is really well done. And then just the color in general. It doesn't look like it's black, but it looks like it's black with maybe a touch of blue. It could be the lighting that's really throwing me off, but it looks fantastic. The black, the dark color against the gold and the red just pops. It makes for a really good color scheme. But the most impressive aspect of this figure truly is the tampo work outside of, well, we'll get to this. And this is just really well done. So it, of course, goes along with the theme from the box art. So you've got this huge kind of Cobra just print work all over his chest here. It's also down on the boots, and it's also on his back as well. So an area where they expect you to maybe not be looking, they still covered it in print work, and I think it's really well done. Very crisp and clean. All the line work is really straight, so I don't really have any issues there. I just plain like it. I think they did a good job with that. And then you've got the helmet, which is, again, the same helmet that we saw before, but this time it's done up in this kind of red, gold, and then the dark color scheme with the slightly muted gold helmet, or the face shield rather than the silver. And I really like this. It looks really good. I'm a big fan of this helmet to begin with. I still kind of err towards the masked Cobra Commander when it comes to what I truly want, but at the same time, I think this is a pretty solid attempt at making a more modernized Cobra Commander head. I do still have the same issue that I had on that first figure, though, where these fringes of the helmet don't necessarily come in at the same level. They're a little bit askew. It's not super noticeable in many respects, and, you know, it's only certain angles for me, but at the same time, it's still kind of an issue. I didn't think it was going to be fixed or changed here, and here we are. The big thing, though, for this figure, though, is, of course, the cape, the soft goods. And I think that for what they tried to do here, I think it's pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. So you've got him actually wearing a cape. Like I said, it's actually wrapped around him. Those elastic bands sit in his armpits, so it keeps it on him. It's basically something that's meant to be clipped around the body, rather than something that's, say, a cloak, or something that's actually attached around the neck or anything like that. This sits over top of the shoulders only, and you can kind of imagine that these Cobra logos would maybe be fastened to his armor. Of course, that's not going to happen here because this isn't new tooling as far as the figure goes, but I think they did a pretty good job to make it sit well enough. It's not perfect again, but it sits pretty well. The only real way to fix this would be to have had a wired cape, just to make it a little bit more impressive, and I don't know, I might look into getting that done on this figure, because I think it would make things just so much cooler. But the cape on its own does look really good. It hangs well. It's not flimsy. It does have a two-layer design to it, and then it just feels a little bit more robust than I was expecting. And then, of course, there is a snakeskin pattern to the back of it, which just kind of embellishes it, makes it look a little bit more impressive than if it was just black fabric. So I do really like it. It does have, you know, maybe a few little hang-ups here and there because of how it has to be fastened, but at the end of the day, I still think it makes the figure look a lot more impressive, imposing, and just plain evil, really. And of course, we've got our comparison here, and you can see that they are wildly different just in terms of overall aesthetics. Now, they are very, very similar in terms of overall build. It's just how well Hasbro has taken this base figure and changed it into something different. So there is sort of a lot to compare, but at the same time, not really. You've got your more normal Cobra Commander. You've got your Supreme Cobra Commander here. They have the same overall body. This guy has the different belt. He's got the sash that runs across, and he's got the little half cape thing that hangs on his back. That is, of course, a rubbery material. And then our new figure is, of course, done up in a different color scheme. He's got the crazy tampo all over him. And then he's got the holster. He's got the soft goods cape, the whole deal. So they are just very, very different while still being very, very similar at the same time. So again, stuff to compare, but not really. And then as far as accessories go for this guy, being an exclusive, he does get some extra stuff. And of course, that is not just talking about his extra stuff on the figure itself. So we do have some weaponry here. We've got his gun that's been in the holster the entire time. So it's just a little futuristic gun done up in gold, you know, very gaudy, very over the top. Very much fits the idea of this figure. It's another kind of laser gun, futuristic kind of thing. So your mileage may vary on whether you care about that. Doesn't bother me. We've got the same sword that he came with the regular figure. Let me put him in a not ridiculous pose while we've got him on camera here. And this is the same sword that we've had, but it is painted a little bit differently. So you've got the red handle on it this time to match just the color scheme, the gold, and the red accents on this figure. I really like this. I mean, it's very much a Cobra thing, so it works really well. The Cobra on the hilt is really cool. You've got a few extra things this time around. So you've got the Cobra Staff. And this guy is done up, again, in gold, as you can see, with a cobra head, and it's just kind of like a half staff, more of like a baton than really anything else, so he can use to command his minions. And then we've got the globe thing that he can hold in his hand, and it works really well when it comes to this really oversized gripping hand that they gave him. This is, the gripping hand that I kind of use for him to hold on to the hilt of his sword when it's in the sheath. But then you've got this, and it's got the, the globe on it. So it is, of course, sculpted really well. You can actually make out all of the continents on it pretty easily. So that thing's pretty cool. I like the idea of that. It's a very maniacal, diabolical type of accessory. And then we've got some extra hands. So in the box, you've got a trigger finger right hand, the oversized gripping left hand. You've got a fist for his right hand here, and then this is for his left hand rather, and then for his right hand, we've got the pointing finger. So the same kind of stuff that we saw with the regular figure. But for this particular package, he comes with a good array of accessories. Again, for a $30 figure or a $30 price point, this thing comes with a lot more than you might have expected. I think it's just that Hasbro kind of went all out because this is such an important line right now. But I'm really happy with what we get for the money. So overall, I really don't have a lot to complain about here. I have maybe a few little nitpicky gripes when it comes to the cape, just in terms of you have to work at it to get it to sit just how you want sometimes, and then the helmet still has that kind of off-centered issue, but I didn't really expect that to be fixed. From the box, though, to the figure itself, there's a lot to enjoy here. He looks fantastic. He comes with a great array of accessories. He's very collector-friendly because you can put this entire thing back in the box, whereas a lot of these other exclusives from PulseCon are not nearly that simple. This guy is just take him out, put him right back in, no muss, no fuss. And then, of course, he does have a pretty cool new cape. It does sit a little bit funny at times, but it looks tremendous. The only thing that could have changed it, made it better, would have been a wire. And ultimately, for a $30 con exclusive, I think this is definitely up there with most bang for your buck. Hasbro did a really good job on this one. And yeah, I mean, for my second Cobra Commander, second out of what will eventually be 3, I am still really enjoying this particular mold for the big bad here. So that's going to do it for this look at the PulseCon exclusive Snake Supreme Cobra Commander. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.